2 years ago, I was at some event for school and I was with a couple of my buddies. And I remember my friends wanted to go find girls to talk to. And so I remember I was really drunk and I wasn't really a confident person. And so what happened was I went over and I remember there was this group of girls and I went over to talk to them and I straight up swear to God, this is exactly what I said. I walked up to this girl and I said, I like your water bottle. That wasn't a very confident thing to do. So, and also another story as well. First time I ever made cold calls, same situation. On the phone, mumbling through my words, not knowing what to say, and all of a sudden, guy hangs up the phone on me. So that's what happens when you aren't confident. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So if you don't know who I am, my name's Steven. I make these videos for entrepreneurs and like-minded individuals to grow themselves, to grow their business, to grow their personal brand, and to become better people. If you like this kind of stuff, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about confidence. So let's go ahead and dive into it. First thing I want to make very clear is that confidence, like any other character trait, is non-binary. So you are not confident or not confident. To what extent are you confident? Right. So this is 0 confidence on this side, and this is 10. So you should be asking yourself, to what extent are you confident? So if you're watching this video, there's probably a really good reason for that, because you're probably not confident, or at least you assume that you aren't a confident person, even though maybe you are. So I think right now we should take a second to think about where you are on this scale, or where I am on this scale too. But I know I'm somewhere on this scale, and you probably are too. So I would say, at least if we're talking about, let's in my personal opinion, if a 10 is where I am today, because comparatively to the rest of my life, that's where I am today, then before I was probably like a 2. And so that's how I'm looking at my life. Like, I think I'm more confident now. And the reason why I'm more confident is because this is kind of my definition of confidence, is past proof in a domain. That's the pretty basic way of explaining it, right? The act of, or I guess the perceived likelihood that something can happen based on a past proof in that domain. I'm going to explain exactly what that means, right? So say your domain is cold calling or sales, right? And so the first time you ever started sales, and if you are an entrepreneur, which I'm assuming maybe you are, but the first time you ever started doing sales or cold calls, the first call sucked because you didn't have proof and you didn't have experience. That's basically what this is experience. You had 0 experience in the sales atmosphere. And so what happened was probably hopped on the phone. I mean, this is what happened to me. I hopped on the phone. I didn't know what to say. Like, 4th guy I ever called said, go fuck yourself. And I felt terrible. I thought this was stupid. And I didn't know what to do. And then it took time to where now when I hop on the phone with someone and they tell me, hey, I'm not interested, I actually know how to respond. Now, because I've made 3,000, 4,000 cold calls, I now have proof that I can actually do the thing. Same thing goes for sales, right? So sales, I've had enough sales calls in my life where I've failed them to where I know I can at least get someone to make a decision 9 times out of 10. So that is what happens, but it took time. So when you first start out, you're like down here. But the more, I guess, if the more you make a connection to yourself, to your brain of that thing, the more likely you are to achieve it. And so this is the problem that I see a lot of men struggle with in, I guess, speaking to women. And that's not really the direction I wanted to go, but we can talk about that. See, there's a lot of guys that haven't spoken to women at all, like never once in their whole life. Or maybe they have a few times. And I was that same guy. They never talked to a girl ever. And so when it was time for me to go talk to a girl, I would get nervous. And on top of that, this is a little side note too, but whenever you're trying to be confident, I guess, a lot of times the reason why you can't be confident off rip is because you immediately place every single thing on a pedestal, right? And I've done this too. So like with sales, with women, it's like as soon as you start speaking to that person, you've put them on a pedestal because you want something from them. So like they're up here, right? They're Mr. Business Owner that you're trying to get business from. They're the girl that you're trying to woo. So, and you put like yourself beneath them because you're trying to get to them, which you shouldn't do that. You should treat them as equal. And when you start treating people as equal, it's easier to sell them on you, if that makes sense. And so another thing I want to talk about too with this is it comes down to beliefs, right? So on top of confidence and having proof in that thing, if you believe in yourself and what you can do, you should be able to close the deal, right? So if it comes to a sales call and you know you can actually perform the service required, well, you're not going to struggle when it comes time to handle objections because you know what you can do. You have conviction in yourself and you have conviction in your life. And so it's hard for a first time entrepreneur who doesn't really know what they're doing to close somebody on a sale when they have no fucking clue how to deliver the service. And a lot of times, let's be real, people, when you start out, a lot of times you kind of swing for the fences, and whenever you grab someone, then you take the money and the time and everything, and you invest all of your energy into that person. This is the problem with marketing agencies. They hire like 2 or 3 guys, and then they put all of their effort into working with those 2 or 3 people. And so what happens is they never actually scale the company because they have no proof in the past of their being good at the thing that they do. So they work full time trying to make sure that the customer gets their needs fulfilled. And they never actually scale the business. I've made this mistake too before. I hired like 3 or 4 guys, or I partnered with 3 or 4 guys in the beginning, and I sat there all day and all night trying to figure out how to get them the best results instead of actually scaling the thing. And these were the 4 people that I had hired after 700 sales calls, and they were the ones that were like, okay, you know what, screw it, we'll try it out. And that's what happens. And that's why people can't scale. So if you believe in your thing, right? Past proof plus belief. Yeah, you know what? It's a formula. Past proof plus belief equals confidence. But on another note, though, I think belief comes from past proof. So maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I really want to talk about how you can be more confident. We talked about beliefs; that's very, very important. But one of the biggest things too is I actually think this is kind of funny, but realistically, like when you're 21, 22, 19, you have nothing to be fucking confident about. Like, let's just be real here. What you're in school, maybe I might not be talking to you, but you're in school. You play video games on the weekend. You fucking look at dirty websites and scroll through TikTok. That's nothing to be confident about. I guarantee you, if you made some money and you cleaned up your act and you went to the gym, you would be more confident, right? If you already do those things, then this kind of speaks more to you. Like, you just need more proof. So you just need to do the thing more, right? Like, the more outputs over time of the thing will make you more confident. Always. Like, you'll know. Even if it's a bad thing, right? So if you started a marketing agency and you were kind of hesitant on it, or you started a construction company and you were kind of hesitant on it, and you get about, you scale a little bit and you start to realize maybe this isn't for me, then you have essentially gained the confidence to say, I'm not going to do this thing anymore. It's important to understand that confidence comes from doing shit. Past proof. Past proof is where confidence comes from. So do shit. And again, if you're a man and you struggle to talk to women, which is probably like the reason why you clicked on this video, let's be real. It's because you have nothing to be confident in. Like, you go talk to a girl and all you've done in your life is play video games. She's like obviously not going to be interested in you, bro. That's the way of the world. And so let's just go over, I'm going to quickly like spitball some skills that are required. If confidence is the trait that we're trying to get, this is the trait here. There is skills, which is this bucket right here. This is my bucket. There's skills in this bucket that create confidence. You take a bucket of skills and you refine it, then you can, to an extent, become confident. Remember, it's not binary. Confidence is not a yes or no, but this is still a character trait, which it's interesting because it's kind of like a loophole, because in order to have confidence and to have the character trait of confidence, then you and other people have to be confident that you're confident. Anyway, that's just a side tangent. So here's some things. First of all, if we're talking like body language, I'll just generalize here. We'll do body language as the first one. So your body language is probably the most important part. That's like where 90% of, I don't know the exact statistic, but we all know that your body has more weight on a conversation, you speak more with your body than with your words. So your body language determines if you're confident. And so this reminds me of yesterday. I went out to lunch and I was at this like sandwich shop, and I sat down to eat, and then this guy came over with our food, and he didn't look at us, looked at the ground, and like mumbled through his words and said, here's your food, like really quietly, like I barely understood what he was saying. And then I noticed that there was something wrong with our food. And so I said, the mac and cheese is missing. And what happened was he basically like lost his shit. Like, I could see it. He got like kind of a little scared, and he was like, okay, I'll take care of it, don't worry. And like really freaked out. Right. And so let's talk about me first in that situation. I could have easily just let it go and not said anything, but I paid for it and I wanted it. And so I was like, hey, I want this thing. Right. And that's one thing with confidence, like being assertive, right? So you have to like first be like, this is what I want. I want this thing. And so it needs to happen. That's assertiveness, I guess. So, but if you look at him, his body language, looking at the ground, kind of like shrugging his shoulders, hunched over, right? How are you supposed to look confident like that? So, big thing with body language is to like hold your shoulders up, you know, and to smile and to look at people in the eyes and to walk like with purpose. Literally, just walk with purpose. Like if you have a purpose, walk with purpose. I promise you, you'll have better body language when you have a purpose, when you have something that you're striving towards, right? How can you not be confident when you have a positive mindset, a positive outlook on life, and you on a positive outlook on life, and you work in abundance? Like if you operate out of abundance, you just cannot be hunched over like this. Because the only reason you're hunched over like this is because you don't like yourself or something about yourself, or because some kid in middle school slapped you on the back, and so you feel the need to hunch like this for your entire life. So that's the first thing. Body language, abundance mindset. And I was talking about this, I think, in a video like the other day. You need to speak like everything, you have it coming to you, and like the world is that you need to speak like the world is yours. You need to speak like you can do anything that you want to do. So, I mean, like let's just I see this all the time in the gym. People say, "Oh man, I'll never be able to hit that weight, or I'll never be able to do that thing, or I'll never be this person, or this day sucks." Like you're a negative, like that's negativity. And so imagine if you were in a sales call and someone said, "Hey, can you do this one thing?" Right? Say you're a painter and they ask you to do drywall, and they're like, "I'll never be able to do drywall." You wouldn't say that, right? Well, people do that in life regularly. And the worst thing is, it's because half the time they're looking for a compliment from the person they're speaking to. And so when that happens, it's, "Oh, I'll never be this thing." And then that's my cue or your cue or the person they're talking to come in and say, "No, man, it's completely okay. You'll be fine. You'll be this person." And then they get dopamine from it. It's ugly. I've seen it before. Like I know someone in my life, actually. I know someone who every single time they come to me says something negative, because the first time I spoke to them, I said something very positive after they said something negative. I said, "Don't worry about it, bro. You got it. Look at you. You're strong. You'll be good. You're powerful," right? And now every single time this guy sees me, he comes over to me and starts complaining about how he's not good enough. And so I told him the other day, I was like, "Dude, I'm not going to sit here and keep giving you dopamine for being an idiot. Like, just go fucking lift the weight." I don't know what to tell you, you know, but that happens, you know. So don't fish for compliments, and that comes with the abundance mindset. It's like you can't not be confident if you're abundance mindset oriented, right? The other thing is your speech. In your speech, speak loud, speak clearly, speak like you know what the fuck you're talking about. It's really easy. You just honestly, just I think the best thing you can do is like don't speak from your throat, speak from your stomach. If that makes sense. It takes some time for that to truly kick in, but speak from your stomach. And to be honest, you're speaking more loud, more clear, and you're more assertive over the situation, right? And so if you're kind of speaking and you're looking down and you're not looking at me and you're quiet, I can't understand you, and I can't like I can tell you lack confidence, right? And I guess the last thing is eye contact, which I guess fits into body language, but I just kind of wanted to add it because this is very important too. And you know, I'll put smiling right here too. These are all character traits, or sorry, these are all skills that create the character trait of confidence, right? Trait right here. This is the trait. Confidence is the trait. These are all skills that develop this trait. If you're struggling to understand what the fuck I'm talking about, that's completely understandable. The way to do this, I hope you got all that down if you're writing it. But the way to do this is to take the skills or take the trait, like you reverse engineer it if you can't figure it out. Because I didn't name everything. There's a lot of things you can do to be more confident, right? Take the trait and then reverse engineer it into the skills. So, to what extent am I confident? Not very. So, what can I do to stay not confident? I like to do it too. I reverse engineer the trait or the skills as well, right? So, this is a philosophy that I learned from Alex Ramosi and I think Albert Einstein. So, confident. What can I do to not be confident? Well, I could probably look at the ground when I speak to people. I could probably not smile, and I could probably get scared whenever I'm approaching someone new. And then you just take those three things and you flip them. And so don't get scared when you approach someone new. Don't look at the ground and smile. That's the easiest way to do it, because I named a few skills. There's 100 fucking skills. And again, I'm not the most confident person in the world either, but I'm just telling you that that is how you figure it out. I gave you some stuff, and I gave you the formula to retrace your steps and to figure it out on your own. So I hope that helped. I spitballed this video. I didn't have any notes today. I hope that helped you out. If it did, leave a like. If you are a construction company owner, contractor, you're looking to get extra jobs in your calendar, click the link below and book a call, and we will speak to each other and see what we can do. Thank you for watching. Stop scrolling through social media because you look stupid and when you're trying to be confident.